Good evening. On the World News tonight from Babata Vide Imo Television, first the headlines. Tinubu government returns 4,081 workers to IPPIS, approves salaries payments. Tinubu not interested in security but in economy where he has planted his people. NLC will provide social safety nets who may lose their jobs, says Ajaero. Justice Okuro warns that the court will not tolerate matters that will subject the judiciary to social media attacks. 70% of Nigerian students are criminals, EFCC boss. On sports, Nigerians are thirsty to win AFCON again. Sport Minister Eno tells Pesero. I am Morire. The news in detail. The federal government has returned 4,081 civil servants out of 17,000 delisted initially from the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System. Information gathered that the civil servants have now been re-enrolled into the payroll of the federal government after cries of withheld salaries of certain civil servants across ministries, departments and agencies. According to information, the return of workers followed the intervention of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria and the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, which began the verification of 17,000 civil servants who were recently delisted from the IPPIS in October. The 17,000 government employees were said to have been delisted from the IPPIS for failing to comply with verification exercises spanning over 5 years. In the list obtained, it was observed that some of the civil servants cleared were from the State House, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Ministry of Budget and National Planning, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Defense, Public Service Commission, Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, and Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Others were from Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Ministry of Labor and Employment, Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of Trade and Investment, Ministry of Police Affairs, Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. The Northern Elders Forum has lamented that Nigerian President Bola Tinubu's words, deeds and body language have obviously proved that he is not interested in the security of Nigerians and Nigeria as a country. Professor Usman Yusuf, a NEF chieftain, said this on Tuesday. Yusuf said that our President and Commander-in-Chief, Bola Tinubu, from his words, deeds, body language, is not interested in security. All he's interested in is economy, where the money is, and has planted his people. Security, banditry, and others appear irritant to him. We don't see the President hands-on with our security. Our military is not supervised by civilian authority. They have gone rogue, dropping bombs on our people, and they are not answerable to anyone. In the United States, where we copied the presidential system, the military is subordinate to civilian authority. Yusuf, who questioned the role of the Minister of Defense, claimed that President Tinubu has outsourced the security of the country to the military, calling for an independent investigation into the Nigeria Air Force bomb attack to Kaduna, where scores of civilians were killed. Yusuf said that the military cannot investigate itself. There should be an independent judicial panel headed by a retired CJN, a former defense chief, traditional leaders, and religious leaders who are interested in protecting the people. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Joe Ajaero, has said that social safety nets and insurance policies will be provided for workers who may lose their jobs during the global energy transition. Ajaero made this disclosure at ongoing COP28 in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, UAE, where the NLC organized a side event with a team, Justice for Workers in the Just Transition, which is designed to fight for the right of workers as talks to move to cleaner energy gains momentum across the world. He said this as the world commences the move away from fossil fuels, with scores already made for a just transition that will leave no one behind. This set of people include those who work in fossil fuel companies and whose job might be affected as a result of the global energy transition. Despite the global perception of job losses, I don't seem to believe so, especially coming from the energy sector, Ajaero said. A transition that will bring about energy sufficiency and eradicate power poverty would be almost 100,000 megawatts or more. And then this diversification in the process of bringing clean energy will create more jobs and not job losses. Ajaero, however, added that in anticipation of the transition, as representative of workers' organizations, the NLC as a body will make provisions for social safety nets, pension policies, and insurance policies for people who may lose their jobs. He said he thinks that it is an area for the labor union in Nigeria because the pension and insurance policies today are grossly inadequate. You are watching the world news from BGI Television. Justice John Inyang Okuro, a member of the Supreme Court, has issued a warning stating that the court will only consider legitimate cases and it will no longer accept cases that would expose the judiciary to criticism on social media. Information report that Justice John Okuro revealed this information while rendering a decision in a petition filed by Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, which contested Opozadima's nomination as the All Progressive Congress APC candidate for the Imo State 2019 governorship race. In addition, the People's Democratic Party PDP and its candidate Emeka Ihedioha filed a petition, but the Supreme Court rejected it due to its lack of merit. In addition, Mike Ozekome, son, was fined 40 million naira by the court for his insistence on having the case heard. In response to the ruling by the Supreme Court, Mike Ozekome contended that the nomination of Uche Umosu as the APC and AA governorship candidate, respectively, ought to have had an impact on the nomination of Hope Uzodinma as the APC governorship candidate because of double nomination. In an attempt to overturn Governor Hope Uzodinma's designation as the APC candidate for the governorship during the 2019 governorship election in Imo State, the PDP's candidate, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, filed a petition with the Supreme Court. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has raised concern over the growing prevalence of Nigerian youth involvement in cybercrime. According to him, it is alarming that 7 out of 10 students in Nigeria are now engaging in cybercrime. Speaking during a courtesy visit from a communication visit in his office, Olukoyede called upon the media to play a crucial role in enlightening the youth about the detrimental consequences of such activities. We are looking towards that communication to enlighten our youth on the evils of cybercrimes. It is worrisome that 7 out of 10 students today are involved in cybercrime, Olukoyede said. These are youths we are preparing to be leaders tomorrow. The media should not relent in enlightening them on the evils of such criminal practices, he added. While describing the practices as a menace and a cankerworm in society, Olukoyede called for a wider media enlightenment of the youth across the country on the effect of indulgence in internet fraud. The Federal Road Safety Corps says it is illegal to receive or make telephone calls while driving, regardless of any wireless gadget used for such communication. The FRSC also said drivers who make or receive calls behind the wheels with AirPods, or any form wired or wireless earphones and hands-free mode risk 6 months in jail. FRSC Corps Public Education Officer BC Kazim, in an interview, said driving requires total concentration and road users should not take any risk on their lives. He said it is illegal to make calls or receive SIM while driving according to the National Road Traffic Regulations 2012. Kazim said it is illegal driving entails 100% concentration, so you cannot be distracted. It is there in the regulation. It is also clear that phone call is not restricted to telephone conversation between 2 or more people. Anything that will distract you while driving must be avoided. When we do public enlightenment, we even discourage drivers talking to passengers, which could cause distraction. You are still watching the world news from BGI Television. Next to come. A chieftain of Afenifere, Adebayo Odonwo, has said that the group must learn to evolve and move with time so they can stay relevant. Speaking via a statement on Tuesday while receiving members of Afenifere from Ikene and Odogbolu local government area of Ogun State, the Afenifere chieftain raised an alarm over the neglect and relegation of Yoruba language. He warned that there would be dire consequences if the tribe's rich history and cultural identity is not preserved. Odonwo argued that for Afenifere to remain relevant, it would have to liaise with other ethnic groups such as Ohanaeze Ndibo, Arewa Consultative Forum, and other ethnic nationality groups. To achieve their new political agenda, Afenifere will have to embrace inclusiveness and collaboration. They will have to liaise with other socio-cultural groups like Arewa Consultative Forum, Ohanaeze Indigo, and other ethnic nationality groups. If they come together, they will be able to present a common front that will help each ethnic nationality get what they desire from the center. Joining hands together with other groups in the country will not only speed up the process by the federal government to hands off the control of local government and grant local government autonomy, but it will smoothen the process of creating new states. Farmers from Agor Ohu government farm settlement staged a protest at the Osun State Government Secretariat on Tuesday. The Agor Ohu government farm settlement is located in Ikoyi, a Shokon local government area of the state. Their protests gathered may not be unconnected to rising insecurity and incessant attacks from Fulani herders in the area. The farmers who were bearing different placards urged the state government to come to their aid rescue as their productivity was being affected. One of the farmers, Jimo Rahman, said the situation has become unbearable. We have been constantly harassed and threatened by Fulani herdsmen. Ours is a farm settlement established by the state government. We call on the state government to accede to our request and come to our help. We are being attacked and this was not so before now. Our farm produce have been affected. Cattle just invade our farmland, destroy and consume our crops. We don't have arms to defend ourselves because these Fulani herdsmen are sometimes armed, but we want the state government to provide us with security and protection. At the time of filing this report, the states had not reacted to the protest yet. The protesting farmers added that they are also protesting against the Olukoyi of Ikoyi, Oba Taufik, who they accuse of creating problems for them. Moving on to the next story. Israeli military has resorted to the use of seawater in its war against Hamas territories in Gaza. According to AF polls, Israel set up pumps to flood Hamas underground tunnel network with seawater after finding out they use the tunnels as hideout. The publication noted that the move would contaminate Gaza's entire water supply, making it undrinkable. Israeli reporter David Eli shared false photos and videos of Israeli military pumping seawaters to flood Hamas tunnel. In the video, a Hamas terrorist could be seen trying to swim through the flooded tunnel. The renewed fighting between Israel and Hamas has entered the sixth day on Wednesday, December 6, with the Israeli military carrying out deadly bombardment in the Gaza Strip. The World Health Organization's Executive Board is set to hold a rare emergency session on December 10 to discuss the health crisis in Gaza and the West Bank. Lastly, on sports. The Minister of Sport Development, Senator John Onwa-Eno, on Wednesday directed the Super Eagles manager, Josep Pesero, to make sure that the team wins the 2023 African Cup of Nations AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire next year. Eno said this during the meeting he had with the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau, and Pesero ahead of the AFCON, which starts next month in Ivory Coast. The minister also told Pesero that Nigerians are thirsty to win the AFCON again, with the country having last won the trophy under the late Stephen Keshi in South Africa back in the year 2013. After 10 years, the country is tested to win the AFCON. It will matter a great deal to the Nigerian people and the government of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Eno said. It is important to not just leave the tax to the NFF alone, but the government is also interested in being able to tell the Nigerian people what is being done in that regard. Eno added that Nigeria as a country is so passionate about football, such that amidst all other sports, football is about the only sport that has an entry in the national budget of Nigeria. According to the sport minister, that is how important football is, because whatever happens to it happens to us as a country. The Super Eagles have been drawn to face host nation Ivory Coast in Group A of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria will also do battle with two other countries, Guinea-Bissau and Equatorial Guinea, in the group stage of the tournaments. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu government returns 4,081 workers to IPPIS approved salaries payments. Tinubu not interested in security but in economy, where he has planted his people. Northern Elders Forum. NLC will provide social safety net who may lose their job, says Ajaero. Justice Okuro warns that the court will not tolerate matters that will subject the judiciary to social media attacks. 70% of Nigerian students are criminals, EFCC boss. On sport, Nigerians are tested to win AFCON again. Sport Minister tells Pesero. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adibayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Moriri Rabila Lawa. Good evening.